So a blessed day to everyone. So I was honored, okay, so and I was graced by to interview, okay, so my mentor and at the same time my psychotherapist and as well as my professor, okay, Dr. Lourdes Medina. She's the EMDR Philippines president, psychotrauma expert, cancer survivor, grandmother, a loving
Yes.
wife, and also yes, and a loving mother and a loving mentor, friend, and at the same time, anything under the sun, loving a loving person to almost everybody. Okay, so thank you very
Oh,
much, Doc Lulu, for let's say accepting my invitation, Doc, for this
okay.
interview.
Okay, thank you very much for that introduction, huh? So I hope I really have earned all of those credits that you have given me. But I know we have the same advocacy, just to give some clarity, information, and empower, especially those who have been abused, whether sexual and otherwise. So I'm delighted to be joining you here, Charlene. So let's go then. So how do we help? How can I be of help to you?
All right. So, Doc Lulu, I just want to shed light po sa mga audience natin, specifically to women who also suffered the same wound as mine, and also to share to them, Doc, that the power of healing our pain, trauma, especially rooting in abuse. Because most women, di ba po, Doc, or men and women are afraid to seek help because they were shamed. Actually, Doc, no, even if I'm already a licensed psychologist,
Mhm.
yung dilemma pa rin na baka anong sabihin sa akin kahit psychotrauma expert na first time
Right.
that I will be meeting you, Doc, di ba po? So, my number one question po, Doc, is what would be your advice to people who are suffering from trauma or victim of abuse who are afraid to seek help because they might be judged or no one would believe them po?
Well, okay. This question is very relevant because when my patients come to me, that is exactly their dilemma, right? Before they would come for professional help, kumbaga sa condition sa health, nandun na sila sa sagad, no? To the extreme that they have already harming themselves or they have already attempted to kill themselves. Umabot na dun. But of course, it should not reach that point. I guess you know what I'm talking about right now. To answer that question, you know what? I think it is all because of fear and ignorance. No, because they are afraid. Because when they were victimized, they were threatened. I will kill you. I'll kill your parents. If you tell anybody, I will kill them all. Okay. So they remain to be in the thinking or in the stance as a victim. And if they remain to be in the stance of a victim, they're very worried about the stigma, which you have already mentioned. And a lot of patients are like this. I told my mom, but my mom said, we cannot seek justice for you because we have to think of our reputation. Now, that is so painful and so really devastating for the victim of sexual abuse. And the others say, ay hindi, siguro malambing lang si kumpare. Malambing lang siya sa iyo and you have just misinterpreted it. So in short, hindi naniwala. So what happens now? What happens now to the one who was sexually abused? Ayan, so they would really say, oh, so that means even my own parents and nobody would believe me. So why would I seek professional help? So that means perhaps the negative belief that they have about themselves is, siguro I deserve it. Maybe I deserve this because maybe I'm really basura or I'm not important at all. I'm not even lovable at all. Now, if this kind of thinking starts, then they are really going to be stuck for a long time. A long, long time. Naku, ang dami, iba 25 years, 15 years, 12 years before they come for help. Right? But as I said, it's always coming from fear and ignorance. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. Can you just imagine if you told your parents or those people are supposed to be caring and loving you, and they tell you and they don't believe you, or they're more concerned with their reputation and not about you, right? So they have to get out of this stance of a victim, because if they are in the stance of a victim, that means they have a lot perhaps of adverse childhood experiences whereby they were exposed for a long time to this very vicious cycle. Kasi pwede siyang intergenerational eh. And it is actually happening that if it happened to a member of your family, it would happen also to the next generation, to the next generation. And usually, yung mga bata, if they're 5, 7, or 11, they are victimized sexually or molested by someone older, like a cousin or a brother, you know. They're not far away. They are just around. Even their own fathers perhaps will do it to them. So if this victim thinking remains with them, then that means they would have very low belief about themselves. They'll think they're basura, they're not good enough, they're not important. And biologically, yung iba can also be, for example, let's say prone to it. Baka it is in their genes, the level, na ang tawag dito would be very low. The konting crisis, hindi na nila kaya bumangon. They were not able to develop resiliency, right? Were not able to develop the courage and the guts to stand up for themselves. That is why dumadami yung perpetrators eh. Kasi the victims, they do not speak up. They don't speak up. And now we understand why. Kasi kung victim sila, ng bata-bata pa sila, it would definitely be very difficult for them. That's why nung medyo older na, ayan, as you grow older, now you realize, I was violated, and then I was sexually abused, I'm being abused over and over. Ang mahirap pa, Charlene, which I think you're familiar, is the traumatic impact of sexual abuse when you're young. If you're very young and it happened to you and nothing was done about it, in the long run, your behavior becomes sexualized. Hinahanap-hanap ng katawan. Now, it's not just sex per se, but it can be pornography, anything, or masturbation, anything for instant gratification. That's what is very sad eh. Nakakalungkot yun. So I hope those who were sexually abused stand up, rise above it, para itong perpetrators na ito or be aware, nag-iingay na sila, they're coming forward. Bali wala na sa kanila yung mga stigma na yan, no? They should be careful. That's the only way that we can deal with them. So I think my answer to your question is that the fear and the ignorance, which had already shall we say, develop into a negative self-belief for the victim, and so they can't get out of it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lulu. That's a very wonderful explanation, and of course, I can very much relate to that. Mm-hmm. Just to let our viewers know, Doc, that I met Doc Lulu twice. Once when I'm not actually, I tell this to everybody, it's like, parang pinag-adya tayo ng tadhana, Doc. Para bang you're supposed to be my therapist, the one who will walk me through towards my healing journey. So I met Doc Lulu once. This is how, I'm not saying great she is, but I met her 2016, and among the crowd, she spot me and asked me, do you want to have a psychotherapy? So we had, let's say, a short session at that time. I'm
Mhm.
not ready yet.
Yeah.
But come the second time, after 4 years, 4 years, 5 years, the therapist, the therapist that I approached led me also to you. And she said she can, Doc Medina can very much help you with regards to your situation. And she's right, absolutely right. One session lang, one session lang, parang boom. Ibang level si Doc Medina.
Parang
Okay, so
meant to be,
anyway,
parang
Doc.
meant to be tayo, ano, Charlene? May
Yes,
destiny.
yes po, Doc.
Yeah, I
Yes,
always believe
destiny. And
that. Yeah, I always believe that, Charlene, that people meet for a purpose. There's always a purpose. Always. That's why we should be grateful for those people that we meet, because one way or another, might be able to help them, or they might be able to help us. It's like it's like a round the clock thing, parang paying forward and stuff like that. So you are one of my best students, and I'm very proud of you. You deserve all of this. You see, this is what I mean. Those who are listening in, Charlene is a perfect example of empowerment. She had turned a very devastating event in her life into something positive, right? So that takes courage, Charlene. That takes guts. Totoo yan. And so you are still blessed because you were able to tap that inside yourself. So perhaps because of the therapy sessions, you were able to see your true grit or your true character. Na meron ka pala nun. Meron ka palang courage, meron ka palang guts. At yan ang ginamit mo, and you see now you're very empowered. And you are now empowering many others. Nako, I'm a very proud mentor and friend here, Charlene.
thank you very much, Doc. Thank you. And of course, Doc, it's all because of you as well, Doc.
Thank
And
you.
you told me, you encouraged me to tell your story to everybody. I was really afraid.
Yeah.
You know that, Doc, diba? But
Yes.
what do you call this one? The reason behind it, why you need to tell your story, is not because you just want to tell a story, but of course the power of healing, the power of getting out of that you mentioned, that fear, Doc, diba? And that pain, so that you can have that peace of mind, diba, Doc? Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yes. And by sharing your story, Charlene, you know what you also exhibited there. You are able to see that you need to heal not only the mind, the body, but also the spirit. Because you already have
Yes,
forgiven yourself. See? You have forgiven yourself. So that is why you cannot say to anybody, you don't care. Because now you have this spiritual energy in you. Because through healing, that term healing is very profound. It's not only mind and body, but it is spirit. And mga sexually abused, they need to forgive themselves. You needed to forgive yourself, didn't you, Charlene? You went through that.
yes po,
You
yes
went
po.
through a spirit. I also recommended a spiritual counselor for you, because I know that you needed to realize that. So it was not an easy journey, was it, Charlene? But it's worth it.
Yes.
It's
Hindi
worth
po
it.
talaga, Doc.
Yeah. Di
Doc, please be
talaga.
gentle with me. Ilang ganun.
It's not easy. I
So,
know. Right.
thank you very much, Doc. Okay. So, Doc, I also have another question, Doc
Okay.
po. No? So, of all the stories you've heard po, Doc,
Mm.
lahat po ng mga naidulog sa inyo, naiiyak sa
Oo.
inyo, what would be the recurring reason, Doc, why people suffer or they are hurting so much, Doc?
Well, I would always go back to what I said earlier, yung fear. Takot. This fear really destroys. The fear destroys our very nature. Talagang sagabal siya. And alam naman natin now, if hindi pa tayo pinanganak, nasa inside pa tayo ng womb ng ating mga nanay, ay nakaka-create na ng fear sa loob pa lang, inside the womb pa lang. Kaya nga, the mother, when those of you who are listening or who listen, and you are, let's say, carrying a baby, be sure that you are healthy psychologically and emotionally and physically. Because everything you think and feel, your baby feels them. They do. They do. So they become very restless inside. Kaya pag pinanganak sila, wounded na sila. Puno na sila ng fear. Puno na sila ng fear. Now, another answer to that question would be the parenting, Charlene. No, ang parenting style na ginamit natin ng mga magulang sa kanilang mga anak. Anong klase bang ginamit natin na parenting? What did we teach? What did we model to our children? Is it fear? Or is it being courageous or being independent? O wala lang na tayong pakialam? See? So the parents play a very important role also. Right? We need to walk our talk. If we say we love our children, then we do it. Hindi yung takutin natin. Ang dami kong pasyente, Charlene, I think you also have those patients, ang nagbi-victimize sa kanila, ang nag-sexually abuse sa kanila, yung mga tatay nila. Kasi mag-abroad, pagkatapos pagbalik, sila yung gamitin. Or if they are not divorced, separated, ang galit sa nanay, ang galit ni tatay sa nanay, binubuhos doon sa anak na babae. So gagamitin niya yung anak niya na babae. No, my heart really breaks with this. I have a current client who is a psychologist, licensed, more than 20 years old. But since she was 15, she was being used by this uncle, an uncle, because he works abroad 6 months, he comes back 6 months. And he's the one who's helping them because their father left them. Now, because of that, he uses her. But she can't get away. Well, right now, because she's already receiving therapy, then she's having some clarity about her situation. But she is full of fear. What's going to happen to me if I get out of here? I don't have enough money to rent. I don't have enough money for my bills. Wala. Nothing. And my mom, I can't depend on my mother. See, yung mga ganyan, ang dami pa rin mga secondary, causes, secondary causes that leads to that. But, well, of course, she is always hurting herself, and now she's thinking of killing herself. So, heartbreaking, di ba, Charlene, ang mga kwento ng ating pasyente. So, I'm very happy talaga na you are coming up with this you have to speak up. Please rise above it. Do not be afraid. Ang daling baga sa bagay, Charlene, pwede sabihin, ang daling sabihin, Huwag kang matakot, Do not be afraid. But ikaw nga, ang tagal mong takot, It took you 15 years or 12 years. But what I
30 years ata, Doc.
ba yun? Yun na nga, di ba, kasi we also have to consider so many other factors. But at least, these perpetrators will stop really if all of you would rise up, and do something. Magkaroon na kayo ng boses. Ayan, si Charlene na ang inyong boss. Right? And I'm pretty sure you will do it. I mean, go through it or through your journey much easier. But I'm not saying it's easy. Just a bit easier. Right. So, sagot sa tanong mo,
it's easier kung sama-sama po tayo.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, yung takot mawawala, tapos magkakaroon ng direction, mawawala yung ignorance, kasi sa psycho-ed kayo ni Charlene. Tapos, yung parenting, sabi nga, di ba, kung may toxic kang member ng family mo, it's okay na to emotionally detach because they're not helping you. But it does not mean you love them less. Mahal nyo sila, pero hindi mo lang sila mo kailangan mag-attach na emotionally kasi pati ikaw, nasisira. and contaminate, and you don't need it right now. I was thinking, Charlene, if this will be very successful, we can come up with like a safe house, Safeway house. Sometimes kasi merong iba, they just need maybe 3 days, 5 days, or 1 week just to stay away, you know. I don't know. It's just a dream of mine that that can be done, and people with excess money can actually provide for their food or their lodging and also their therapy. Wow. Iniisip ko lang yun, parang
Me too, Doc.
saya
Actually,
na ako. Ang saya ko na. Sana
honestly, that's also one of my dream, Doc. Yes, that's also one of my dream,
Yeah.
Doc. There are a lot of clients approaching us, asking for just a face-to-face because ang hirap po talaga, di ba, via online.
That's right.
But the thing is, of course, the COVID, and I'm not yet fully vaccinated. So,
Ay, oo. Yeah,
yun.
meron pang
But
Delta
anyway,
ngayon.
soon, Doc. Okay, so Doc, as a psychotrauma expert, and on your own perspective po, Doc, what can we do to make our world a better place po?
Wow, parang pang Miss Universe question yan.
Yes, syempre.
Kailangan ba pang Miss Universe din ang sagot? Well, based on my experience, you know what? Lahat kasi ng aking clients, I think 95 or 96% ang pinanggagalingan ng trauma nila, ng problema nila, ng why they're thinking that their life is such a waste, is family. Family. Right? If we can strengthen our family, if we can educate the parents, okay, mga bago pa lang ikasal, mayroon sana na mga seminar, tuturuan sila, okay, when you become a mom or a dad, pagkaroon kayo mga anak, no, these are the things that you should know. You should study about your children, at what particular age, how they think and how they feel, so you know how to communicate with them. If the family is strengthened and you love your kids, you know, communicate with them well, have a very good relationship with them. Hindi mo na kailangan magbigay ng rules eh. Kasi nandun na yung love. Hindi mo na kailangan sabihin, ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to follow. Wala na yung rules na yan because love is already there. There is respect for one another. So I think to make this really a better place, let's not look at it like in a macro scale. Tingnan natin sa micro. Ano ba yung pinakamaliit na unit? Yung pinakamaliit na unit where we can develop our sense of who we are. That we are lovable, we are beautiful, we are loved. Saan ba yun? It is a family. Lahat ng patients ko, it all starts with family. Not a single one na hindi. I think that would also be your experience. So dear parents, if you're listening, mom and dad, please take care of your children. If love is there, and you give them all that what they need, attention, affection, affirmation, then nothing's gonna go wrong. They can confide with you. Anything that happens to them, tatakbo sa inyo, sasabihin ka agad yan sa iyo. Pero anong gagawin ba ng ibang parents pag tumakbo o pagagalitan pa, di ba?
Yes.
So,
hindi pa paniniwalaan, Doc.
Oo, di ba papaniwalaan, pagalitan pa, ganyan. Oh my, really, I'm heartbroken with this kind of responses by parents. But I'm sure ang dami-dami rin naman parents who love their kids, right? At nabiktima lang din talaga yung mga anak nila. So I think my answer there is always family. An intact, loving family that has good communication and emotionally connected. Then it will make a better society, right? And a better world. O, pwede na bang pang universe yun?
Yes, Doc. Definitely, Doc. Hindi lang pang peace universe. ano ba mas bigger sa universe, Doc? Thank you very much, Doc Medina, Doc Lulu. Thank you po. Thank you po. And I hope our viewers not only learn, but at the same time reflect on the words, on the wisdom that imparted to us by Dr. Medina. She have heard it all, not only just trauma rooting in abuse, but also in calamity, doc, war, I mean, you name it. All let's say, sabihin natin, overwhelming things that a human can do to another human being, or let's say the pain. Dr. Lou have heard it all. Thank you very much, Doc. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're most welcome. So please just contact Charlene, rise above it. You deserve the best. Everyone deserves the best. Life is too short. Okay, bye-bye, Charlene.
Thank you,
Okay.
Doc.